the whole customer acquisition opportunity. And can I say my 2-minute soapbox? It's that I think there's a precious moment in time when before your venture is cast in concrete. When I say that, I mean before you've raised a chunk of money, the minute you take that money in and it's in your bank, you better start executing fast. The burn rate's counting, right? I mean, it's like, what are you doing? What did you do last month? Blah, blah, blah. And you need to be on, as much as possible, a trajectory that is focused. And yeah, you may have to switch that focus, but you really want to be, great, the money's in the bank, let's go. And how do you know you're going in the right direction? And I think the precious moment in time is before that's cast in concrete, there's a unique opportunity to talk to customers. I know we have to redefine who those are in certain marketplaces, but really, when you're going in to talk to a potential customer or buyer, and you're still, I'm going to say vulnerable, but what I mean is when you're really open to listening, and you don't yet have everything cast in concrete, and you truly want to hear their feedback, it's a different conversation, and people love to talk about their problems and know that you're going to listen. And if you go in and you can say, look, like in your case, here's what I'm building, or I'm really thinking I'm going to commit the next 5 years of my life to X, and I'm raising capital to do it, but I want to make sure I've got the right value proposition. And could I get 15 minutes of your time, or 20 minutes of your time? 99 times out of 100, the person's going to say, wow, yeah, I'd love to share that, or I'd love to hear, and I'll give you my input. And then you've got that moment that's really rich with input, and you've done a couple things. You get input, you now have a customer relationship you can go back to in 6 months and say, remember when we had that conversation and you suggested I do? Guess what? I've done it. I'd love for you to hear now what I'm doing. They'll feel like they helped shape your venture, they bought in, you go back, you've got practically a customer sale in the making. And what I see happen more often than not is the complete opposite. The money's raised, people get really hardened and think, I just have to pitch this customer, so stupid, why aren't they listening? I gotta switch this, I gotta emphasize this. And they're in there to pitch, and you'll see 9 times out of 10, you go in to pitch somebody and they're like this. Okay, what you got? I don't know, maybe, well, no, maybe. You know, the whole dynamic is about criticizing you, and you set yourself up for more of that jostling and a little bit of an antagonistic, and maybe eventually, if you're really on point, that person melts a little bit and says, well, yeah, I might be willing to do X, but, you know, and so that's why I think it's just so cool if people at that early stage can get the input they need in the way that's really going to give them rich feedback and shape a plan for how they can go back and further engage with customers. And then also you're doing powerful market research that the investor isn't paying for. And you're de-risking the deal hugely. So you're accomplishing 1 million steps, and hopefully through that process, if you do it right and come back and say, you know, I've talked to these 30 people, these 30 customers, these 25 VPs of this position in this sector, here's what they say, you've got references. And you've got, you know, you're really proving that you've done your homework, and that's golden.